What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. For the last few months, I've been trying to figure out Lil Uzi Vert. I've seen him all over the place. He's rocking shows from, city to city. He's appearing on my Twitter timeline all the time. And, he's releasing music at a fast, consistent pace. So a couple months ago, I started listening to some of his music, and I couldn't figure out exactly what it is that's so special about him. And maybe there's nothing special about him at all. He just fits in with what this generation really enjoys. Like, his subject matter isn't much different than others that have came before him, Thug, Key, Future, things of that nature. And in the production, it's similar to, like, what those people are using. But at the same time, I think the thing that makes Lil Uzi stand out is that he's very animated and he has that right production in his corner. People always want to hear a Metro Boomin beat. They always want to hear Don Cannon, even though he's very underrated. But just having like that aspect is enough for Lil Uzi to have the career that he's had thus far. And he's on the track to be a big name. This past Friday, he dropped his surprise mixtape titled Lil Uzi Vert versus the World. And because of that, he was trending on Twitter for hours. And that alone is something that a lot of artists don't do. So you can tell that he's onto something, that Atlantic Records has something with Lil Uzi. And being that this is my first project, I teeter on the border of being underwhelmed and satisfied. I think as a fun project, as someone who is not looking for too much in the lyrics department, I think it's a solid project. Little Uzi is like I said, his strengths are in the production and in the hooks. He has some good melodies on there. Canadian Goose and You Was Right. Those are two of the standout records for me. My two favorite. And I think they have like a similar vibe to them. They're more up tempo, and that's where he shines. Because there's other records that come off lazy, like "Baby Are You Home" and Scott and Ramona. They just come off as more like whining, kind of crying almost in a way, and it like lazy mumbling. That's what I get from those two records, but. On like a Canadian Goose, he's having fun, he's going in, and he really rides the beat well with his flow. And I like the fact that he referenced Mewtwo. He said, "I just caught me a Mewtwo." That's kind of, something that I appreciate because I like pop culture references a lot. Um, the one thing that is an issue for Lil Uzi is that he says "yeah" a lot. One of my friends on Twitter, OG Johnny 5, was making a joke like, "Take a shot every time Lil Uzi says yeah," and the responses were hilarious. Everybody was like, "You're gonna be dead within 30 seconds of the mixtape," and it was funny because you do listen to his music, and he says "yeah" a lot, a whole lot. So that was like my biggest issue, and just not having an identity. I think Little Uzi doesn't have an identity, but at the same time, does he really need one? In this generation, you can see an artist really thrive without having to be, this unique entity, because not everybody can be the first Young Thug or a Kendrick Lamar or a Drake or, a Kid Cudi, whoever. So Little Uzi has made it work for him. And like I said, I like a couple of the songs on here, but I'm not overly impressed and I'm not overly disappointed. I'm somewhere in the middle. But if you're a fan of Little Uzi, like a bigger fan than I, could ever be, I would love to know, like, what is it about Little Uzi that makes you gravitate towards him? And then what did you think about Little Uzi Vert versus the World? Let me know in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermon's Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.